NFL draft, draft buzz, takes, mocks, analysis on those, feedback, rumors. We're going to dive into it all because we will leave no stone unturned looking at what, if, when, who, and where could happen with this fucking unbalanced draft. What's up? It's your boy Cintron. Come back to another analysis / news video. I kid you not, that's my real name, man. The draft is just a couple hours away for you. For me, it's more it's a day, a little bit, or half a day, but about 6 hours or so for this video being posted. Most likely, the draft will commence, and we will get into the madness. And there is a lot of it. But let's dive in and comb through all this subterfuge that's happening and see what the fuck is actually going on and what actually makes sort of kind of sense. Anyways, 2023 NFL Draft Buzz. Latest league news, rumors from Wednesday ahead of Thursday's round 1. So let's dive into some of this. You can see, look at all this mock draft. I mean, this is just crazy. Man, it's going to be exciting, though. I'm not even going to lie. All right, so Bijan Robinson continues to draw buzz from the Eagles. How high could he possibly go? The Eagles aren't the only team looking at him drafting in that range, so it could be the Falcons at 8. They have a running back they drafted last year in the 6th round, I think, and he went on to be a 1,000-yard rookie rusher for them. But they, might jump at the chance to draft Bijan Robinson ahead of the Eagles with the 10th selection, and then we could be looking at we'll get into this later. We have interest in Paris Johnson Jr. Who don't we have interest in at this point, man? C.J. Stroud is thought to be the draft's second best quarterback, but do the Texans go ahead and select him at number 2, or do they eschew him and go with Will Anderson per se, and then come back up number 12 and try to either stay in pat and pick a QB or trade up? I don't think they'd be looking at Anthony Richardson. Will Levis could be the guy that they're looking for. Some people would had Hendon Hooker going to them, which is super early. I mean, 5 quarterbacks within the top 15. Nuts. Absolutely bananas. But I wouldn't say it's, outside of the realm of possibility. Just saying it would be highly, it would be highly rare. But this draft, there's so much uncertainty. I don't remember a draft ever with this much uncertainty at the top, especially. You think those picks would be ironclad, but here we are with, less than half a day to go, and things couldn't be more topsy-turvy. 6 hours for you. But anyways, who's counting? Zay Flowers might not make it to 31. Yeah, man. With certain positions being, scarce, and different big boards being different, differently assembled, we'll see who's overvalued, undervalued, or valued just right where they should be. But this is all in theory, just us placing values on people and doing what we kind of do in real life and then extrapolate it into a game. But Zay Flowers, I think he goes definitely before 31. He's not gonna last that long. I see him going anywhere from the middle to like the 25 or so. Be good value for teams. Like Chargers could look at him, but this draft has like a lot of slot guys at the forefront, and not a lot of guys that we'll be looking at in the next article available. Which he could continue to streak for those Ole Miss receivers. Let's see, Jalen Carter. We'll get into this a little bit later, man. But yeah, man, he's mocked all over the place. Had heard a report that Seattle was not willing to take him. But then, other people have been mocking him anyway. So, I mean, who knows at this point? Who fucking knows anything, bro? Like, he could be a wild card. He can go anywhere from 5 to 10. And I got to believe the Eagles would draft him, even though I wouldn't like it for reasons I'll get into later. But, yeah, I mean, he could go Seattle. He could go, to Atlanta. He can go to the Raiders. He can go to the Lions. I mean, that's just such a wide range. I mean, he could go even to the Texans at number 2, or to the Cardinals at number 3. So I mean, like, those are kind of like on the outs of happening. But like I said, this draft unpredictable. So we do not know, man. This guy just saying he follows Cody Pate saying he follows mock drafts. Cool. Didn't need you here. That's just fluff. Paris Johnson Jr. impressing, man. Yeah, he has the flexibility. He could be a guard for us for a couple of years, and then after Lane retires, we could kick him outside. I wouldn't be mad at this pick at number 10 because we have we don't have that much depth behind our starters with our O-line being depleted this offseason for different reasons, self-inflicted wounds, and guys just going out and getting paid. This natural attrition of a roster after guys reach the conclusion of their contract and us reaching a plateau such as the Super Bowl. Your roster gets picked clean by the vultures. Just the way it is. Yeah, it's going to get very interesting. So Will Levis and Anthony Richardson, could they slide into the teams? And I think if they do, great value for those teams trading up. But then, who's really, these guys here kind of really make or break whether these guys get not overvalued, but get some great trade assets for the guys trading up. So Detroit Lions at 18, Tampa Bay at 19, Seahawks at 20, and Minnesota Vikings at 23. I see Minnesota focusing on Will Levis. Seattle could go either with. They have a mobile quarterback in place now. Geno doesn't run as much. He's not as explosive as Anthony Richardson, but he would be a good mentor. Tampa Bay, I see them also looking at Will Levis primarily, as well as Detroit, but who knows, man. These teams could also surprise. They could surprise also in Minnesota with Kirk Cousins being the predecessor to Anthony Richardson. Yeah, it's crazy. And a lot of these teams have Detroit Lions and the Seattle Seahawks have 2 first-rounders. Detroit at 6 and 18, and Seattle at 5 and 20. So they have some flexibility in not having to rush their picks. And maybe they play with a little bit of their capital this year. Most likely if they're gonna go up and acquire these guys. But these are such curveballs that threaten to throw the draft into peril, into disarray, because you can't really predict anything because there's so much uncertainty, unstableness, instability with who's gonna go, and then this is the domino effect. We talked about this yesterday. If one little smidge, is out of place here, it's gonna open a gaping hole here, and then the scramble begins, and other positions become saturated, and then once the run starts on those guys, then people really start panicking. So it's chaos. It's utter fucking chaos. I love it. But yeah, we're gonna have fun tomorrow with that video. I don't know who's gonna watch it. I'm gonna have fun doing it though. But that's it for this article. We'll move on to the next 2023 NFL Draft takes. 5 QBs will go in round 1. I mentioned this earlier a little bit. Jonathan Mingo is this year's George Pickens, man. And George had 50-something receptions for 800 yards, 4 TDs, and he just kind of got started. Man, a talented guy that was kind of underrated, man, coming into the league. All right, number 1, Jalen will go in the top 6 picks. I really believe this to be solid, despite all the, news contrary to this opinion. I just think people see him as a talent too valuable to pass up, even given the character concerns and the things that he had off the field, culminating with him having a poor draft day, poor pro day showing, but them believing that's more to do with him being inside his head after him putting himself through an ordeal with what he ended up being involved with in the offseason. You can see it right here. But that being said, you don't question his talent. You just question the the inner workings of his head. What's going on there, and can you figure it out? And is it stable enough to bring him into your organization, or is he just someone to be avoided? I believe most teams are going to err on the side of, man, we want this guy. He brings a lot on the field at least, and we can keep him on track. So I think that outweighs their exterior concerns. CJ Stroud is QB2. We just talked about this. Yeah. He could experience a mini drop because, like I said, the Texans could throw this draft into disarray with their selection of a non-quarterback, and then teams start scrambling, for the market suddenly created there, and supply and demand. They have a great demand, with you having a top 5 pick, and then in the supply, there's going to be plenty of teams trying to supply picks, trying to get up there to control their own fate, and then collapsing the fate of other teams, and then buoying the ships at all. A rising ship lifts all tides. Rising tides lifts all ships. I mean, whichever one it is, what I'm talking about. But I mean, for the Eagles, I would just create a glut of great players for us to pick from. Be a rich man in our first world problems. We would willingly accept it, but I hope Jalen Carter goes out of that equation so we can just have Bijan left to pick from. I mean, that's just my goal, but I just want to force Howie's hand, but it is what it is. 5 QBs will be selected in round 1, so it's interesting. Like I said, they have Hendon Hooker here going to Tennessee. I'm not going to Tennessee. Sorry, going to the Texans before Will Levis actually goes. So I mean, that's kind of a hot take because I'm just like, he's 25, and yeah, he had 6,000 yards, I think 35 TDs, and only 8 interceptions in 2 years combined. Great numbers, but like I said, he's an older guy, and Will Levis is 23, and yes, he's a gunslinger. I think he has great mentality, maybe a little non-risk adverse. He takes too many chances, but that being said, I think he's for me, his ceiling's got to be right up there with Hendon Hooker, if not better. And he played with less talent, I think, there in Kentucky. Well, yeah, definitely. So maybe he has better potential. I don't know, man. That's just my take on it. He loves Will Anderson. Who doesn't, man? 34.5 sacks over 3 seasons. And the guy, I mean, give him more opportunity and more experience in the league to learn from his peers and to get coached up. And he's been molded greatly there at Alabama. Continue that progression of the young man. Man, the sky's the limit. I don't like him. His measurables aren't outstanding, and he's solid to me on the athletic front. But I mean, the guy does he does what's asked of him. He gets to the quarterback 34.5 times in the amateur ranks at college level. Great production. So I mean, you can't argue with that. Surrounded by his family can't be underrated. I love his family, man. I love how peace mongering they are, and just how many great individuals they've raised up in that family. Just real quality people, man. You can tell. Shout out to them. Shout out to these two here, mom and pops. Salute y'all. I love Devin Winters with this one. I don't get why people are down on him. I was like, he's stylistically not what I want. He's 6'1", like $180. But yeah, he plays like a dog, man. He tackles well. He reads his clues. He clues in, reads his keys, and is there anticipating before the receiver can even get out the breaks, which is great indicators of him having great levels of success at the next level. So sets the edge. I mean, as a corner, just everything you can want from a physical corner. Had a rating in the quarterback rating of in the low 20s, mid to low 20s, which is excellent. This past season, he also played very good the preceding 2 seasons. I looked for weak points, trying to hate this guy, trying to elevate Christian Gonzalez above him. Couldn't find him. So I mean, he's a top corner to me. Christian Gonzalez is number 2 and Porter number 3, but they're not that far off from each other. So I mean, you couldn't lose getting either of those corners. With Christian, being the one who he's soft and a bust, but that's a whole other video. No elite receivers in this class, but I take 4 in the 4th round. I think it's a thing of need. It's a measure of need, because if there weren't any, they're still going to be picked because they're the guys that are there, and someone has to get picked. Someone has to fill that void. And I hate to be looking for a receiver in this draft because we have ours. Wouldn't want any of these guys as my top option or even number 2. Number 3, for me, they're all complementary receivers, including, Jackson Smith, I'll give him a number 2. He just doesn't have the physical tools. Maybe he could develop into it, but I see him as being like a Michael Thomas at best. But even then, Michael Thomas, he ain't doing it now. Because he's hurt, but I just think he really needs to go where I think he could be the number 2, at least in the interim, and have a guy, diametrically opposed to him who has, a complementary skill set. But none of these guys, stand out. Quentin Johnson, before I, took a deep dive and look, I was like, man, awesome, but he doesn't have these. So, Jonathan Mingo, man, is officially my 2023 George Pickens. Yeah, man, talented guy, runs a 4.46 at 6'2", 220. He's gonna make somebody very happy in the second or third round. Definitely, if they give him a third, get a steal. He just continues that trend, with DK Metcalf and AJ Brown. DK being the most explosive, but AJ being the more consistent. Which is I actually wanted DK. We had a chance to get him actually when we got Umbrella Man instead. JJ Arcega Whiteside, which is Let me follow that up with Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson. God damn, man. Just failing hard, but at least we corrected, course correct. Shout out to you, Power Book 2, Season 3. But anyways, that's a sidetrack there. Great measurables. Can he produce? Yeah, just don't. I would say bring him slowly along if you can. Bring him as a number 3, then elevate him. Over guys that he has a chance to learn from. However you release them, get rid of them, whatever. But he can come in and have value immediately with that. Definitely with those measurables. I'd love him, with the Eagles, but I don't think we're going to prioritize that. Yeah, definitely not. Would be great though. Peter Skoronski is his best O-line bet. I mean, cool. Yeah, he's like Rashawn Slater. But is he gonna go that route, or is he gonna go more the route where guys fail that come in the measurables? And 3 years started at left tackle, but those short, stubby alligator arms really getting in the way of his evaluation and his projection at the next level. People want to put him in a phone booth on the inside and not leave him to tasked with handling team's best or second best pass rusher. So I mean, I don't know. I don't want him. I think he'd be a solid pick though, but I think Broderick Jones has better potential, as well as Paris Johnson would be my number 1 guy that I want. 2 running backs are worthy. Round 1, Bijan and Jahmyr Gibbs. Yeah, I can say that, man. Just because nobody is an alpha alpha dog as far as being solo. Nobody runs solo like they used to 10, 15, 20, definitely 30 years ago. Everybody's in platoon, so put him in platoon. Definitely would say he's worth a first round pick. And Bijan, generational talent. Enough said. We already know that. So let's look at some things around the league before we get into some exclusive Eagles news. Like I said, mock drafts are all over the place. Schrager here, his mock draft has Titans trading up from 11 to 3 to pick up QB, and then Giants they get Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, it's just wild. Just the wild west out here. Let's see, CJ Stroud out here fighting. They're not an S2 taker. It's something to undermine his value, just like they did Nakobe Dean last year. Had some mysterious injuries that he never had, and then but the rumor started he could have been the Eagles actually shooting themselves in the foot apparently, but only to heal up and go to the best hospital just to get the best access to the best care. So I mean, it is what it is. First round talent that end up being a third rounder, great for us, man. I love stealing legally. Legally not. I didn't say illegally. Anyways. Corey Davis, a valued member of the Jets wide receiver core. Sure he is. You don't take anybody word at face value. Take it all with a grain of salt, especially now with lying. It's lying season. Lying season is in season, and we're seeing these experts. They will look you in your face, spit on you, and tell you that it's raining. I mean, hey, it is what it is. Houston has 12 picks within 12 picks overall, 5 within the top 75. If they screw this up, history says that they kind of will, but that's just an epic fail, man. D'Amico Ryans, don't let that happen on your watch, man. Tackle this problem head on, pun intended. Kyler's chomping at the bit for a return. I'm sure you are, man. Like, they've talked about you and dumped dirt on your name for a while now, so I mean, you better come out and correct it. All right, let's get into this exclusive Eagles news that I talked about. Refused to talk about this earlier, but we're getting into it now. Jalen Carter believes the Eagles draft him at 10 if he's available. If he goes within the top 5, I don't think the Eagles make that move. The thing for me about this is if they go ahead and preemptively trade up to, let's say, 6 or 7 or 8, and then he goes ahead of that, you're already there, and you wasted that draft capital on a pass rusher, that you didn't even know, beyond a shadow of a doubt would be there. So, you're going to be hurting for that later in the draft, for that extra 2 or whatever it is that cost you being able to go up there, and it's definitely going to cost you some, no less than the 2, and then maybe something, not maybe some other picks. So, I mean, like, I just think we should stand pat and see who falls to us and try to trade down. So, which leads, I mean, like, Jalen Carter, he said that, emphatically, he believes that, yes, we'll take him. And I think we did, or at least somebody did in the top 10 guaranteed, hey, if you fall to us, this is your floor. We'll pick you. And the Eagles could have been the team to say that, but who knows at this point? Like I said earlier in the video, who can knows, man? So much lying going on that, you start to, look in the mirror and, not even trust yourself, like Michael Jackson. Howie is making calls about moving up in the draft. Man, I believe this to be true because he's at least doing his due diligence, and it also excellently works in the background as a smoke screen. I mean, it's things having double, having a double effect. Being a multiple. I can't say that word. I can't get the phrasing right now. Having multiple layers to it and serving dual purposes. That's a better word. Wording. Yeah. I mean, it works because he can just investigate and see what it potentially would be worth. And it's actually him just doing his job. But also, it works to lay groundwork for people to talk. And hey, that free advertisement, he doesn't have to do anything. Just sit back, lay back, and let you guys do the work for him. And it spreads the word that the Eagles want to do this. So I really don't believe that we want our true intent out there, but we would welcome this information just being out there so people can talk and hide us better, our true intent, until the last second. So we'll see in about 6 hours or so. Like I said, let's see. JSN wants to play with Jalen Hurts too. Okay, before we do that, one more caveat to number 2. Said moving up, but nobody said it had to exclusively be pick number 10. Could be moving up for number 30 as well, and which would actually be very smart. A fan on somebody's podcast said this. Shout out to you. I'm not gonna give you any other credit though. Sorry, but it would be excellent though. I would love for us to to entertain that more so than number 10. But then as well, I would be fine with us trading down both times and getting extra picks in those middle rounds 4, 5, and 6, because we don't have any picks there. Currently, we have 6 picks, and 4 of them are top-notch ones, and then first 1 to 3 rounds 1 to 3, and then other 2 or 7th-round picks at the bottom of the draft. So we need some help because there's plenty of talent to be had in 4, 5, and 6 just to sit out all those rounds and not get great value. Not Walmart though. Number 3 here, JSN wants to play with Jalen Hurts too. So Jackson, Smith, and Jibba. Yeah. Wants to play with Jalen Hurts. I mean, like, this is just par for the course. Who doesn't want to play with Jalen? Excellent player, and a great magnet at this point of attracting talent as well as attention and the respect of his peers and future peers. This guy coming in, he wants to work with Jalen. He wants to play in this offense. He sees how dynamic it could be. He sees what his numbers could be. He sees that he can get some jewelry, not made and customized by K. So I mean, like, hey, that would be okay with him. So I mean, it just speaks to Jalen, him being such a monster in mentality and attributes, but mostly his work ethic, man. Just can't be denied, this guy. Anyways, number 4 here, the Eagles also really like Paris Johnson. I mean, who at this point we don't we like? I mean, we've heard about so many guys, and this could be, I think it's true, but it's like saying water is wet, man. Like, who don't we value? Who don't we like? It just excellently works to lay more smokescreen for more cover for us to fire behind and really, to when we need to get that shot off, aim, for where we really are going, and hit that target dead center mass. So he'd be a great player, like I said earlier. Could play now or be a key reserve now. So he give us much flexibility and would solve an option of depth. But he's not the immediate impact player, which brings me to the question of why would we go after him, like so at such a premium, at such a high high pick. So I mean, we could find other guys in the draft later that Jeff Stoutland could vouch for and could say that he could work with this guy and Mark as a talent to mold, as putty in his hands. And which brings us to the next thing. With this overflow of information on leanings, like it makes it valuable and worthless at the same time. Valuable just to give insight into how things might go, and to be able to predict. But worthless on the front that you can't tell where anybody's leaning, because there's so like I've seen 20, 30, 40, 50 different schisms, or the possibility of those within so much happening, and then how does that impact the free agent market? How does that impact the undrafted free agents, the priority free agents that'll be signed after the draft? How does that impact the guys who are available for trade right now, who are on the chopping block, who are coming back from injury, who are new to the team, who are just kind of a temporary replacement, or I would say a very thin wafer replacement. It can be replaced like that with the drafting of a guy. There's this guy that just signed a D tackle with the Jaguars. I think he re-signed with them for 34 million over 3 years, or 40 million. And what was taking him so long? Now the clock's in his head. You gotta sign. So I mean, that was information, but that's it could be also a misdirection. Why did they wait till now to sign him? I mean, it wasn't a small amount of money. It was a good chunk. So I mean, that also serves that team's purposes, Jacksonville Jaguars. And for us, all these these rumblings and rumors and gossip, basically, it helps Howie to hide in the midst of this confusion. He's the force has been clouded. We no longer know what's going to serve the Jedi best, and that's the way Sidious wants it. He wants to be insidious. Great, because the Empire will rise off of this shit. And that's what Howie's gonna do, man. Black Air Force energy, man. And I just love it though. We don't know where he's leaning, and I could say I'd be surprised with this or that, but man, I'm gonna have fun react to the draft tomorrow. Blind. I'm gonna be emphatic. I'm gonna be up if it's something I like, down if something I don't like, and so generally surprised because I don't know. I'm not gonna read any articles or anything like that. It's gonna be a true blind reaction. So I mean. This is just great. And the last thing we're going to talk about today, this is news about a trade up groundwork being set up, is also, I mean, it's just, we heard, from the Russian spy KGB, who said that we're going to trade for Henry. And it could happen after the draft, post-draft, but he turned out to be massively wrong, and he's been quiet since then. And that's why people saying that, the groundwork is being set. We don't know that. They could, what they said, could be, true. It could be coming from a very trusted source, but everybody's a trusted source. And then, with the proliferation of the internet, it kind of becomes art imitates life, because people spread these rumors, and then people, oh, well, this is a rumor, and then they spread it on this forum, and it becomes big, and these fans are both discussing it, which makes it spread, and giving it a sense of false credibility, as well as making it go viral, which leads credence to people oh, there are more eyes here, so it must be true. So it's just a great misdirection. And with that, we're gonna close the video because, man, there's so much information that just compacted into this one video. But I just couldn't help it, man. The draft is upon us. It is nigh the time to just go crazy. Anyways, I'm getting up out of here. This is officially a long video, because I know 100% you're not even watching. No. I mean, it's all good, though, because as always, it's fly, Eagles, fly. Let's get to this draft, and let's motherfucking go. Like, comment, share. Subscribe. Thanks for watching. Check me out at Cintron, Cintron Anime, Cintron Life, or Cintron Laughs, or other social media.